Hello everyone. The topic of our today's class is World Wide Web. The World Wide Web, in its abbreviation, is called the WWW, or simply the web. The idea of the World Wide Web was first proposed by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 at CERN. It is a European Organization for Nuclear Research, in order to allow several researchers at different locations throughout Europe to access each other's researches. However, the commercial web started only in the 1990s. And the web today is a repository of information in which the documents called the web pages are distributed all over the world, and the related documents are linked together. So the popularity and the growth of the World Wide Web can be related to these two terms, that is the distribution and linking. Distribution allows the growth of the web because each web server in the world can add a new web page to the repository and announce it to all internet users without overloading a few servers. And linking helps by allowing one web page to refer to another web page stored in another server. And the linking of these web pages can be achieved using a concept called the hypertext. The idea behind the hypertext was to use a machine that automatically retrieved another document stored in the system when a link to it appeared in the document. The web implemented this idea electronically to allow the linked documents to be retrieved when the link was clicked by the user. But today, the term hypertext, which is coined to mean linked text documents, has been changed to hypermedia to show that a web page can be a text document, an image, an audio file, or a video file. Let's come to the architecture of the World Wide Web. First, let's try to get familiarized with the few terms, that is sites, the simple web, and the composite web. The World Wide Web today is a distributed client-server service in which a client using a browser can access a service using a server. However, when the service provided is distributed over many locations, called sites. So each site holds one or more web pages, and each web page can contain some links to other web pages in the same or other sites. So in other words, a web page can be a simple or a composite one. When we say a simple web page, we can define it as a web page that has no links to other web pages, and a composite web can be defined as the one that has one or more links to other web pages. And each web page is a file with a name and an address. And, coming to the web client, or simply the browser. The browser usually consists of three parts, that is a controller, a client protocol, and interpreters. The function of the controller is that it receives input from the keyboard or the mouse, and it uses the client programs to access the document. And after the document has been accessed, the controller uses one of the interpreters to display the document on the screen. And the client protocol can be either HTTP or FTP. And this interpreter, example of an interpreter can be an HTML, a Java, or JavaScript, etc. Coming to the web server. The web server, in the web server, the web page is stored as the server, and each time a request arrives, the corresponding document is sent to the client. And in order to prove efficiency, the servers normally store the requested files in a cache in memory, as the memory is faster to access than a disk. A cache memory is used to reduce the average time to access data from the main memory. And a server can also become more efficient through multi-threading or multi-processing. What is a multi-threading? It is a technique by which a single set of code can be used by several processors at different stages of execution. So through this multi-threading or multi-processing, a server can answer more than one request at a time. And some examples of popular web service would be the Apache and Microsoft Internet Information Server. Next will be the URL, or the Uniform Resource Locator. The web page as a file needs to have a unique identifier to distinguish it from other web pages. So to define a web page, we need 4 identifiers. Those are the number 1, we have protocol, next is host, then port and path. First, coming to the protocol, this is the first identifier. The protocol is the abbreviation for the client-server program that we need in order to access the web page. And although most of the time the protocol is HTTP, that is the most common client-server application program used in relation with the URL, sometimes other protocols such as the file transfer protocol, that is the FTP, etc. can also be used. Next, the host. The host identifier can be the IP address of any server or the unique name given to the server. And these IP addresses can be defined in dotted decimal notation. Next, coming to the path. The port. The third one is the port. The port is an 16-bit integer and is normally predefined for the client-server application. Next is the path. The fourth one is the path. The path identifies the location and the name of the file in the underlying operating system. And next we have the web documents. The documents in the World Wide Web can be grouped into 3 broad categories, such as the static, dynamic, and active. First, the static documents. The static documents are fixed content documents that are created and stored in a server. So here, the client can only get a copy of the document, or in other words, we can say that the contents of the file are determined when the file is created and not when it is used. Next, the dynamic documents. A dynamic document is created by a web server whenever a browser requests the document. So when a request arrives, the web server runs an application program or a script that creates the dynamic document. An example of a dynamic document is the retrieval of the time and date from a server. So time and date are kinds of information that are dynamic. And next, we have the active documents. For many applications, we need a program or a script to be run at the client side. So these are active documents.